Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unscripted. This show is sponsored by Paxton, commonly referred to as Pax, a meme coin project on the Solana blockchain positioned as a community driven token inspired by the popular Pudgy Penguins NFT ecosystem. Go check them out. And remember, always do your own research. This is not financial advice. And the show is also powered by Print World. Tonight's conversation is about resilience. It's about what happens when someone refuses to be defined by loss, by labels, or by the lowest moments of their life, and instead chooses to keep building, keep believing, and keep showing up. Our guest is someone who understands the trenches because he's lived in them, someone who understands creators because he is one. Someone who understands builders not from theory, but from scars, risk, and repetition. This is a builder who doesn't hide behind perfection. He leads with honesty. He doesn't pretend the journey is easy, but stays painfully optimistic anyway. Who understands that real impact isn't made by clout, but by consistency, trust, and community. From personal loss to personal purpose, from late nights in the trenches to platforms that lift others, from vulnerability to vision to execution. Tonight, we're sitting down with someone who turned pain into fuel, adversity into action, and community into something real. A reminder that you can lose a lot and still choose to live fully, that you can struggle and still build something meaningful, that you can fall and still decide to stand back up. Please welcome and let's go unscripted with Faded. Faded amigo, what is happening? What is going on? And welcome.
Yo, what's going on? Can you hear me? I'm good. I'm totally
I can
good.
hear you well, yes.
Yeah, it's sick. That was the best intro I think I've ever gotten in my entire life. That shit was fire. That was really, really good. No, you like nailed it. You 100% nailed it. Yeah, I mean, I'm just a painful optimist no matter what. You know, I feel like you could no I just feel like everything that gets thrown at you is meant for like the next thing, you know? Like even if you don't even realize it yet. Like there are times I think about like I don't know, just things I experienced when I was younger or even in the professional world that have had a lot of
Yeah.
application years and years and years later on without me even realizing like that was going to be the case.
Yeah. Faded. I mean, you've gone through so much. You've been through so much. And what I wanted to do this interview because there's a side of you that people might not know, or the recent people. I've known you for a few years. And people know you as Faded, but that name carries a lot of lived experience. What does it represent to you today?
All right. Actually, I want to give the whole story on this name. So the name I used to have, I've went through like 2 or 3 different names within my crypto Twitter Web3 journey. And one of my friends late night, I was talking to her and she was like, hey, you need to like, we were talking about rebranding, right? And like changing my brand or like creating a brand. And one of the things that stood out to me, this was, I would say, bear market, like right after the NFT crash, right after the NFT crash, and I lost a good amount of money. And one of the things we were talking about was like, well, how much money we had round tripped and lost, and I realized that was just like par for the course. A lot of people think the name represents like weed or marijuana or smoking, especially if they've met me in like a party setting. But that's not necessarily what it represents or means. It means like, because I feel like anybody who's been around long enough, and hopefully this changes in the future, I think it will. The market's getting a lot more smart and intelligent, and newcomers are making a lot better decisions, I would say, overall. But I think that like extreme high, extreme low journey is so common in crypto. I Holy fuck. I don't know how much I want to say about this, but I have a
Say it
friend.
all, my friend.
I have a friend who went from mid 8 figures to literally zero. Like literally almost zero. And that is very recent. That's very recent. That just happened. And to be honest, like, that's a part of it. That's a part of it. We're playing a life on an extreme game. Why do the most talented entrepreneurs and builders come to crypto? It's because of the opportunity, right? Like, there in no other industry is there like 1000x opportunities within a cycle, within just a few years. You've seen people go from a couple $100s to a couple $1,000,000 to tens of millions of dollars in like 4 to 6 years. But I think the opposite side of that is extreme volatility that you have to deal with. And that's like a mindset. It's like a mental thing. It's a mental pressure that nobody in a normal world fucking understands at all. At all. At all. Like, that's so fucking hard to explain. How do you explain to someone working like a normal 9 to 5 job, let's say even low to mid 6-figure 9 to 5 job, saving 5, 10, maybe 20, 15 to 20%, and hoping to one day retire off of that for the rest of their lives while putting in like 30, 40, 50 years. Crypto is a game of extremes, and I think it's like that for a reason. But you have to accept and acknowledge like both sides of it. Like, it's extreme one way, and it's also extreme another way. And lately I was reminded of that at like literally the most extreme scenario possible.
This space is very, very crazy and volatile. And every time that I see your name on the timeline too, and it's like, don't fade well. You fade it well. And it resonates, especially in this space, and everything that we do. But I do want to get into what you're building now and how far you've come. But before we get there, I want to take it back, way back, because I want people to know and understand, what makes you in the adversities and what you've had to overcome to make you the person that you are and why you are the way that you are. But Fada, you were just 13 when you lost your brother after being days in the ICU. How did that moment permanently change your relationship with time?
I think like, I don't know how to best describe this, but that day I feel like I started living for two people. And then eventually hundreds, and then eventually thousands, and then eventually millions. And I mean that in the sense that, like, I feel like there's a lot of people that don't get to fully utilize all of their time on this earth. And I'll admit, one of my biggest, like, I guess, potential weaknesses is that, like, I am a workaholic. Like, if I get caught into something, I will put sometimes, and I know this is not normal, but sometimes days of energy towards it without sleep. Like, just going. And I think I do that because I value time a lot. One of my favorite quotes is, time is the most expensive currency you could ever own, because you never know how much of it you have, and you can't actually ever quantify how much it costs, because there's no savings for time. You never know how much of it you have. It's a currency that you can never count. So therefore you can never really quantify. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Faded, I know that you visit his grave every year to recommit living life to the fullest, right? Now, do you think that loss is why you approach every week, month, and year like pages in a book where you're actively writing out your story?
Well, I think life is a book, and I think we're reminded every day, especially with AI, that like every human is a story, and every story is human. You
Mhm.
know, and every uh, day could represent a sentence, a paragraph. Every couple of years, chapters. And I think um, we're basically the ultimate authors of our own life.
Yeah.
One of my fuck, I guess I'll dox it. My first email ever when I was like 13 or 14 years old is the world is a canvas at gmail.com. And the reason for that is because I was very interested, I'll say, at the
Mhm.
time in graffiti and graffiti culture. So I'd do a lot of graffiti. I'd go spray paint subways, abandoned buildings, crazy shit all the time. And the reason I kind of like fell in love with the art of graffiti was because I think it allowed people to control their environments, right? Like if it's an abandoned
Mhm.
building or a dark tunnel, a scary place, and you can kind of paint it however you want,
Yeah.
then it just gives you more power over your environment and time. And I think that's like, yeah, I guess, yeah. I'll stop there.
I love that. Faded, you've been open about fighting your own mind nearly for 2 decades. What does protecting your life from yourself actually look like day to day, especially with anyone that's struggling or also fighting their mind?
Um, well, one, I think it's a daily choice. Like I have a
Yeah.
reminder on the phone. The reminder on my phone goes off every morning at 6 a.m. And that reminder is a question. And the question is happiness a choice? Question mark. And I read that to myself every single morning. I don't, read it out loud, obviously. Oh shit, Leslie's going. Welcome. What's up, chat? Episode short. Damn. All right, you're back.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes. The freaking Wi-Fi.
Um, I forgot what I was saying. To be honest. Oh,
That the question happiness is a choice.
happiness is a
That
choice.
question
Yes,
that
as a
the reminder that
reminder
you have every day.
on my phone. Yeah. No, for sure. That is literally a reminder I have on my phone every single day. Is happiness a choice? And I think it is. I think it is for the most part. And I think it is
Do you think there's a
now.
difference between having happiness and joy in your heart? So if you don't have a joy, can you really make a choice of being happy for that day? But if you have joy in your heart, then happiness is an option. Does that
Well, I
make
think
sense? What I
ultimately, yeah. I mean, we're biological like there's a there's a biology to it, and there's also like a psychology to it, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think our psychology and our biology, I mean, this is literally mind, body, matter, but I think they're very, very closely intertwined. I genuinely think
Yeah.
so. Like I do think you have like even small things, getting sunlight, going for a walk, exercising, right? Like even if you could say happiness is not a choice for me, there are choices within your day you can make that will increase the likeliness of happiness, if that makes sense.
Freaking yes.
You know what I
And
mean?
I
Like,
also no, go for it.
I was just gonna say it's just a numbers game, and life is just a
Yeah.
series of decisions, right? So if you make a series of decisions that will lead to your own happiness, whether that's short term, mid term, or long term, then you are the author of your own story. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I always say that, we're in control of our output, whatever decision that we're going to make, however people treat us, it's like we are responsible and we have a decision whether we're going to allow certain emotions, feelings, or other people's input towards us to affect our output.
And I think it's a daily decision, right? I
Yeah.
don't think it's like I think, again, it's a series of decisions, and ultimately that decision leads to your current state. So you can alter that at any point in time with just a long enough series of decisions. It might take a couple days, couple weeks, a year, couple years, a decade, who knows? But at some point,
Yeah.
those series of decisions will change whatever outcome I guess you're currently dealing with,
Oh, yeah.
mentally and physically.
I know. And you know what? Recently, too. Well, not recently. It's been a few months now. I've been watching you. I've known you for a few years. It's like we've known each other when our accounts were baby accounts, right? When we were just out the womb, we're crawling, running. And then all of a sudden, from one day another to another, you started exploding and you started having an impact on people in your community. There was a
Mhm.
period of time when you went quiet for days. Your community reached out. What did that teach you about the kind of impact that you're having?
Yo, what's crazy about this? That was 4 days. It was just 4 days. 4 days. And during those 4 days, I would say I have two phones, multiple social media. Everything was just like there was a lot like I don't want to say blowing. There was like dozens of notifications every single day on every single device
Yeah.
I own. Yo, you good? What's good? Where you at? You were like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So what was happening with you? Why did you go quiet?
I was going monk mode. I don't know.
Wait, fade it. The Wi-Fi is kicking your ass right now. I can't see you. It's like preventing you from telling us why you went quiet.
No.
The
I was.
fudge.
Is it? Hello.
Okay, there. Now it's a little better. Okay, there
All
we
right.
go.
All right. Cool. I don't know how in detail I want to get into that, but
You complete the fifth and whatever you want. This is your show, Fade It.
yeah. I don't know how in detail I want to get about that. I think it's a story. It's going to be a really interesting story someday. That's what I have to say. It's going to be a very interesting story one day.
Okay, can I ask questions and you can either yay or nay or plead the fifth? So was it one of those where you had to restore your peace, your mental sanity, clarity, or was it one of those where you meet a lady and then you just had to kind of take some time off?
I think it was I would say a reset period, right? Like
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote about this a little bit, right? Like a little bit. Not like too.
Is it
I'll say what I could say. I think the world is a really crazy place. And I'm not saying I'm not crazy, but I think the world is a really crazy place. And I think that it's like that's all I could really say about that. Like, and I think we're getting reminded of that actually more and more and more
Yeah.
every single fucking day. There's like something new.
So would you say that you're kind of like a humanitarian? You know how there are people out there that are humanitarians and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be completely out there in the world, but you are affected very deeply by a lot of the things that happen or are happening in the world, and sometimes you do need to take that time to search within yourself and do that reset and kind of go ghost for a little bit.
That's a really good question, and I honestly think so a little bit. I've been described once as an empath. I don't.
Yes. I'm an empath too.
I know what that means. I didn't describe myself that.
Yeah.
Somebody described me as that, and I guess that's accurate. I think there's a part of that that's really
Mhm.
accurate. I think I've always been like kind of sensitive in a way, right? In a different, like, I know that's like,
You feel people's energies, right?
yeah, just I've always been sensitive for sure. Always been like, I don't say like fully emotional, but uh actually I have my own thesis on a lot of this. And some people agree with me, some people disagree with me. But I think emotions are very important to experience. I think it's the only thing that makes us human. So I feel like if you're
Mhm.
experiencing an emotion, not to like trap yourself within it, but accept it and feel it. I actually think that's healthy. Personally,
Yeah.
personally. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I think it's okay because I think it teaches you something about yourself every single time.
You know, that is very accurate because I am one of those people that I do tend to put up a wall and hide emotions. I do feel a lot. I am very sensitive to people's energy.
Yeah. I mean,
And I can tell right away their emotions and things like that. But I'm one of the ones that have hidden my emotions. And lately, there's somebody that has taught me how to open up and to feel it and talk about it and that it's okay.
mhm.
But I think, like with you taking some time, it's like when you are very sensitive to other people's feelings, emotions, what is happening in the world, current events, etc.,
Crazy,
it can be very draining.
crazy, crazy. Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. I
Very.
also think, yeah, I heard you. I heard you. Am I delayed?
Are we delayed?
I don't know. I don't know.
The internet is trying to F us up because they probably know that I also, after we talk about what you're building in the space, I also wanted to tap in if we have a few minutes into your conspiracies and things like that, because it's very interesting what you think.
I'm watching. It's working.
Wait,
The quality is really bad. You should make me small and you big. To be honest, I'm watching it.
or you know what?
There's a little bit of a delay. It's not too bad though.
Wait, do you want big? Okay, like that
Yeah,
or
that's
smaller?
fine. That's fine. That's good. Which conspiracy theory?
Well, I know that you were talking the other day about AI
Oh
and
yeah.
conspiracy and how AI is good depending on how we're using it, and then how you also maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, you may feel like there are companies that kind of are leading us to feed information into AI for whatever propaganda that they're
Yes.
trying to put out there. I think AI is going to take over the world. I literally think
No, it's done.
AI
We're cooked.
is
We're
going to
cooked.
be,
We're cooked. That part's done. That part's already done.
yeah,
Like it's over for that. GG's. Like it was a good run.
GG's.
We did all right, But
Yeah.
I do think, okay. I think it's a little suspicious. We have AI propaganda being pushed on us heavy,
Mhm.
like super heavy. Everyone, like, it's just like the algorithm's pushing it. There's like a lot going on at the same time. And I'm not saying this all can't just be coincidental, because it likely is, right? Like, there's just a very fast momentum happening all at once. Companies are hitting new advancements every single day, new models, China, US, some other shit
Mhm.
happening. You know what I mean? Like, uh, OpenClaw getting acquired, the first solopreneur unicorn of all time, which was prophesized by Sam Altman like 4 or 5 years ago. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Obviously, you also have like geopolitical tensions, and there's a lot going on at once. But I think that I think that there is a certain marketing strategy or psychology being employed in
Mhm.
which you spread fear, you get people scared, very scared. And maybe this is happening again, coincidentally. Could be. I don't know. Right? And then people, as they get scared and worried and concerned about their future and the permanent underclass and being, a slave to AI forever and all of this. And I know it's happening primarily in our echo chamber, but I think it's going to spread. And I think it's going to spread very, very, very quickly. But what you realize is the more information we give AI, the more like often we're using it, we're kind of confirming that to be true.
Yeah.
So from that sort of like core understanding of those two things, then wouldn't it make sense to spread fear and then sell you the solution? And then while I'm selling you
Oh,
the solution,
absolutely.
you're making the solution a little bit better and better and better and better and better and better. And then eventually it's like self-improving, you know, like it's I think it's interesting. Again, if you take away the theory part of it, it's true.
Yeah. Faded, do you think that at one point AI, what is the other one? AIG or what AGI has the possibility of even developing a conscience? And then Preston says that he's convinced that you are an AI generated human.
Skynet is coming. It might be. Terminator tried to warn us. I do think
You can put the comment. Do you want me to put the comments up here for a little bit?
Yeah, why not? I do think that what was I gonna say? I do think that that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like humans like to describe what we feel is going to happen to us or happen next. And while we're doing that, we're kind of like creating that future reality. I actually have a theory around prediction markets where I think prediction markets are truly like are truth oracles, where like eventually prediction markets are going to be foretelling the future based off of the market behavior, because then it's going to self-realize as true.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it kind of is already happening.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, it's already happening. You know, like if you can.
It's analytics trend. Do you think that we can predict the future by analyzing and using AI and prediction markets and create wealth?
There's someone already doing it, so probably. Yeah, I think there's definitely people that are already doing that. Like, there's
it's
laggy.
Okay, there. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't think it's you, it's me. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes it's like this freaking Wi-Fi. I seriously need to get Wi-Fi just for live streaming when I'm here in the mountains. But Faded, it is freaking crazy. Okay. Now, this is something that I ask everybody. If you are, especially if you're in tune with AI and things like that, do you think that maybe like the government, NSA, DARPA, and all of them created, you know, Bitcoin as a Trojan horse, and then here we are being led into AI as well?
I think, oh God, now this is going to get theological. Sorry. I think it's very well. All right, let me preface with this. I don't want to say we're living through the end times, but shit is a little bit weird. Shit is definitely weird. You know?
Yeah.
I think that we have problems that are being kind of promoted, and then a solution is being sold. And I think that's happening on like a global level across like multiple things. So I think that whatever, I don't know. I honestly, Leslie, I don't know what the fuck to think.
Look, can I tell you my theory?
Files. I'm thinking about all this crazy shit, aliens. I'm like, all right, we are fucking cooked. Aliens are real. Epstein file, everything about that shit was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
But didn't we already know that the freaking aliens and all that bullshit is real?
But
Look,
here's
and
the
I think
thing:
part of the
we knew, now we know, and we don't give a fuck.
why is because they're trying to turn our head like the Epstein file. Why do you think they're not releasing the Epstein files? Now they're like, oh, there's aliens, and then everybody is distracted by the aliens. Oh, now we sent some fighter jets again to, the Middle East, and now we're distracted by that. It's like every
I'm
single
gonna tell
time
you,
we focus.
we're already NPC'd out. And the reason I tell you that, look, this is not fuck. Fuck. I gotta be careful about this. This is not in disrespect to any fucking community, first of all, okay?
Yeah.
But in LA over the last year and a half, 2 years, I've seen Mexican flags waving. I've seen Iranian flags waving. I've seen Israeli flags waving. I've seen all these different flags waving, right? People going out protesting for foreign countries, foreign governments. And I'm not saying that that's like good or bad. We have something here called freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to protest, right? Like that is your right within this country. But
You don't think the sleeper cells are waking up and now doing whatever the fudge they're doing out there in the streets, and that's why we're seeing all of this?
Hear me, like this is what's crazy though. Then we have
Mhm.
the Epstein files that come out and basically confirm that all of the richest, most powerful people in the entire world are this like elite shadow cabal of pedophiles, cannibalists, murderers, rapists, like worst of the worst bunch of criminals. It's quite literally, I mean, if you think about it, it's almost like it's like a mafia in a way, right? But it's like
Yep.
in a completely, it's above that. I don't know how else to describe it. It's a criminal organization that is dealing with the stakes of life and death, but not even for one or two people, but for hundreds of thousands,
It's
millions.
because they're sick, perverted people. And, I always say when I was doing research, it's like, the trafficking and everything that they're doing, it's $1 billion industry. Do you think that they're going to let it go that easily? Absolutely not. No.
That's a good
$1 billion industry. And now it's like, now they're coming in here and taking and probably funding and funneling the money through crypto. Why is, the crypto market the way it is? Anytime that shit happens, because institutions are here, the government is here, and now it's like they control anytime, we dip, whatever, they control the market now. Before they used to control and have an impact traditional markets. Now it's like now they are here. This is what people cried, and now people are crying that they want them out. But this is where I say too that crypto or Bitcoin is a Trojan horse that was created maybe by NSA or DARPA or any of those, because I talk a lot about it where Bitcoin's core hash function, the SHA-256 was created by somebody that worked at the NSA back in 2001 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it's like, who sank the freaking Titanic? JP Morgan, right? And then they created the Fed, and, they eliminated some of the richest people. One of the things that when I was doing research is that the Fed also created or was doing a research document for CBDCs, but they were not calling it CBDCs. They were calling it something else, and then they parked it. So, I mean, they're all probably in cahoots, and then AI and all this stuff. Like you said, we're in end times, right? It's prophecy. Like whatever you believe in, like I believe in God. I believe in the word. I believe in Bible. I've read the book of Revelations. To me, that's one of the most fascinating books in the Bible. And I've read it numerous times. And if you read it, even just for research purposes, a lot of the stuff that is happening, it's like, are we seeing the signs? You're going to see the signs in the skies, in the earth, whatnot. I'm like, but everybody do your research, believe in what you want to believe. I don't know, Faded. I think we are truly coming end of times. And then there's other people that say like, okay, maybe it's end of times,
Also, Cliff says the signs are there. Listen. I was talking about this on Spaces last night. I had people bugging out because like I'm like, yo, dog, like this is crazy. This is crazy. Well, okay.
Faded, we need to have a space and talk about this stuff.
I'm down to do a conspiracy space. I love conspiracy theory space. But I what was I saying in the conspiracy space last night? I don't know. I had people tripping out, but I was basically telling them the AI theory, like that's,
Mhm.
and basically that is that like we're kind of programming our own obsolescence.
Yeah.
However, I do believe that it's like manifest destiny. Like it's all like it's all right, this is my craziest theory, and I wouldn't say I'm like 100% in on this, but I think there's something there. And I think, what if I told you humanity has already gone through this cycle multiple times? Like, what if we've already accelerated this entire timeline from 0 to 2026 has already happened millions of times on Earth? Same place. Which is why we might have ancient relics, pyramids, things that like we can't really even fucking explain today. Like, how did that get there? So I don't know. I think, and I heard this like years ago, very, very long time ago. It was actually from a Joe Rogan podcast. It was kind of how he was describing, I forgot who he had. He had a human evolutionary, evolutionist. I don't know. This guy that studies the human evolutionary pattern. And the guy was saying that humans are basically like ants in a mole colony. And we basically are just building this giant colony, but we don't even understand why we're doing it, in the same way that like an ant is. But like translate that to productivity, efficiency, and technology. So if you look at the last like 2,000 years of humanity, like we're just like speed running, right? But like, what if that's literally like our core DNA? Think about it. Like same way if you put a fish in water, it swims. What if our core DNA is to like technologize, I guess? I don't know if I can, build, progress, like evolutionary. Yeah, I guess that's the best way of describing.
What if we're test cases? Because okay, if you really look at many years ago and out. Okay, I thought I was gonna lose you for a second. My connection.
No, we're back. I did lose you for a second, but what was the question? Or the
So, okay, if you think about it, do you think that maybe we're test cases? So, what I mean by test cases is, you know how there have been certain structures, pyramids that have been built decades ago that we can't even figure out how they were even constructed. Do you think that we're kind of test cases where, like you're saying, okay, we're a reset of test case and be like, okay, we want to see if these people can get to how fast they can get there to build that type of technology. Like it's a repetition, and every single time they do a reset on us and then we come back and it's testing how fast we can get there to figuring out how certain things were built. And they put those models for us to learn it, figure it out, and then okay, they're not figuring it out. We're at the end of time, so let's go ahead and reset them again. And then let's reset them again and reset them again.
Holy fuck. That's crazy. I never heard of that. I've never thought of that either. It just clicked with me now. I get what you were saying. We're like guinea pigs, like mice. In a lab.
Yes.
All right, we're going to sprinkle humans, see how they progress, give them a couple thousand years. They don't work, we wipe them out, sprinkle some more.
Yep. And it's like resetting and reset. And they put like things there for us, for us to be like, oh my God, how is this created? Let's figure it out. We start back from caveman to where we are. Okay, now we're at this advanced in technology, but we're not that fast advanced because we can't figure out certain things.
whereas other civilizations might have gotten more advanced or less advanced.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is
Exactly.
fucking fascinating to think about. Read
See,
Dr. Michio Kaku. Who then is doing the resetting? God? I don't like.
probably you don't know. Yeah, like we can think of it. I mean, it's just theory. We're talking I'm talking out of my ass right now, but I do believe in God. I do believe, in a different thing, but I do like to talk conspiracy and I have a very vivid and imagination, but I know we have a few minutes left. Fade it. You have been building in this space for so long and then all of a sudden you blew up Clip University. And this is where I first learned it from you. Like, how did you even get into that? What got you into it? And can you tell us a little bit about it and what you're building with
Got it.
it?
This is interesting. So I about a year and a half ago, um, I started telling my community about clipping just because I genuinely, one, I was live streaming like all the time, like at least I would say like 10 to 20 hours a week. And I was telling them, it's a really big opportunity to learn how to clip. Learning how to clip is like such a
Mhm.
huge opportunity. Nobody's really come in and started dominating that within crypto yet. And at the time, I was meeting a lot of different really big influential like Web2 streamers, and I was seeing how much money they were investing into it, and seeing like that. Um, so I started basically like telling my community, hey, start clipping. Like start clipping. This is going to be a big thing. You can make a lot of money doing this. I think it's going to continue growing. Uh, you know, Learn how to do it, and I'll teach you, or I'll learn alongside of you, basically. So I
Yeah.
started, kind of teaching them with no real expectation of anything, and within like I would say a month or two, basically, I had a lot of the community that was just coming in and clipping me, basically, and just like clipping me because I would always show them love. You know what I mean? Like they would clip me, and I'll always repost them. I'll always comment, always tag, always like that. Like I just, so then they just started clipping me as well, especially with like different like founder interviews and stuff like that. Um, and I would say I've I got into learning about clipping. I had already known about it for years. I would say going back to like Andrew Tate is when I first understood this. So it's like
Mhm.
2020, 2020, 2021, let's say 2021. And I learned that he was on a fast track to become the most Googled person on earth within 2 years, within a year and a half to 2 years of doing this. And basically, how he was doing this was he had an affiliate marketing model where he was selling an online subscription for $47 a month. He would pay out 50% affiliate commission to his community and tell them to basically go out and push and sell his product for him. But they would make literally half the money, right? He made 20,000 people essentially his 50-50 business partner. And what he did was record a shit ton of content that was innately built to go viral and to get a lot of views. So what he did was arm and equip all of his marketing associates, I guess, with short form, short form versions of all of the content he was already producing on a day-to-day basis, which were high quality lifestyle and motivation videos, which drive a lot of organic social media reach and engagement. So then that kicks off the flywheel. Imagine you have 1,000 people posting your content every day. They're going viral every single time they do it. And as they go viral, they start selling your product and make millions of dollars alongside of you. Pretty smart plan. So he
Yeah.
did that for about a year and a half to 2 years, eventually became the most Googled person on earth. while making himself and his community millions of dollars while doing it.
Damn.
Many people didn't refer to it as clipping at the time, but it was at that time, that moment, that I realized, well, your social media following doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't matter anymore, but it's mattering less and less and less as far as sheer volume and quantity. What matters more is how often, how frequent your face gets posted on the timeline or the, the feed, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because the more the algorithm gets used to it, the more it's going to push it. The more times you go viral, there's an effect that starts to happen. So, you don't really even need, I think, in today's day and age, especially for personal brands, founders, creators, content creators, you don't need on a day-to-day a shit ton amount of followers on your own. You just need to go viral, consistently, and having your content being posted on a bunch of different formats and places.
Yeah.
So I would say, so Clipper University started as a community initiative. Eventually, I started organizing it, and I had a lot of projects and companies and communities that would approach me and ask, "Hey, can I use your clippers?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." So I started organizing them in different Telegram groups, and using like Google Sheets, Google Forms to basically run these campaigns. And it was like a lot of work. It was like a lot of very painful work. And then eventually I started building a platform to solve my own problems. And that's called Clipper.com. So for Clipper.com, I basically took all of the pain points I was dealing with as far as like impression tracking, approvals, payments, campaign management, basically all of those things, and putting it in one place. And as I was doing that, I realized like this is actually a product in itself. So there's a few different brands and companies I've onboarded and the campaigns on there. But like any product or any service, constantly tinkering it, constantly working on it, constantly, collecting feedback to make it better. So in the last 3 days from the platform, we've accumulated 2.5 million views on $1,200 in ad spend, so less than 50 cents per CPM.
Wow.
And we've increased our user base 15%. So what we're, starting to realize is like there's a flywheel, there's a viral effect that we're really, really starting to tap into and getting better and better. I don't want to just say predicting, but engineering.
That is crazy. Okay, so the people that are clipping for you, because you created like a clipping university, right?
Right.
I knew and I understood, about clippers, what they do, etc. But I think with you, it was like the first time that I felt that there was kind of like a hub created, which is university of clippers. Now, is it people that are under your umbrella that you hire, or you tell them, okay, here, go to this link, there's a new video dropping, a new live, go clip it. They submit their clip and then they get paid. How does it work?
The latter and the former. So
Okay.
it really starts with education, right? So I think that's one of the biggest gaps is there's not a lot of education around this. So a lot of people get into it, aren't really successful doing it, and then eventually stop doing it. But the truth is the demand outweighs the current supply. But the supply, we'll be honest, isn't that great right now either, right? There's only so many like really good clippers, right? I'll say as far as like S tier clippers, there's probably like 10, like S tier, like every shit they post is a banger. There's like 10 as far as the crypto side of things. Non-crypto,
Yeah.
probably a couple hundred, a couple hundred that are like
Yeah.
bangers. Like everything they post just goes crazy. So I think there's an education aspect, and like that part is really, really important. Um, and I think beyond that, it's like, okay, now that they have the education, providing different levels and different scales of opportunity. This is a really good question. I want to answer it really quickly. What does it take to be a good clipper? I talked about this recently on another stream, and I was basically saying that like, what does it take to be a clipper? I think captions are probably the most important thing. And we're starting to see that more and more with like the looks maxing clips and like degen culture and stuff like that. Like captions, rage bait, like the video itself could like not even make that much sense. But if the caption's a banger, it could still go crazy. So I think that's where a lot of like international people struggle.
Mhm.
Is they'll try to use AI, or like their English isn't really that great. So like their captions are just like, not bangers. You got to have banger captions. I think that's like one of the biggest things. Then the second is like
Banger.
editing. Yeah. And then the second depends on which platform you're on. If it's X, less so. But if it's like Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, your editing, right? Your vertical editing is super important. Like, you see like the bangers on those platforms are usually pretty
Yeah.
edited, right? They have like they slow down, they speed up, there's music, there's cuts, there's this. It has to be super high energy. So I think that's like a whole other like lane and category. So captions, context, and then obviously the actual output, the editing.
Yeah,
Good.
no, absolutely. I know we're already at top of the hour, and I know that you have to jump into another live stream. Faded, before we leave, if anybody is watching this show, what is like your biggest motivational quote or words, or what do you want to leave the people with tonight?
Mm, mm. It was an early theme that you were touching on, like earlier. Let's come on up this. It's only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything.
Oh my gosh. Can
That's
you
it.
say that again?
It's only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything.
That is freaking amazing. Faded, I want to thank you again. I want to thank everybody that came in to watch Unscripted with Faded tonight. Appreciate you all. And if there's one thing to take away from this conversation, it's this: that you don't need to have it all figured out to move forward. You just need the will to write the new and the next sentence. So the next page, the
Bro.
next chapter, just the way Faded said, life is about writing a book. And I love this. Remain painfully optimistic no matter what. Stay unscripted. Any final parting words? Nope.
Oh, that's
Fade
it.
it.
That's it. Appreciate y'all. If you want to keep watching the stream, pull up to Skylar. Ask Skylar too. Yeah.
Go to Fade's page right now, to Skylar, and he's going to be on another stream. And you don't want to miss that stream, because it's going to be all about their experience going to EAP Denver.
Oh, God.
Everybody, see y'all later. Take care. Bye, Faded.
Bye.